love you. Today's fun. Alright, I'm gonna go down and get the mail.
All right, here we go. We're live. We're on. We're playing with drawings and pencils, spending our time doing what we enjoy. I didn't nap. I laid there for a minute with Pookie. I was resting after my run.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you ran.
Yeah, I got a 2-mile run in.
Good. Yes.
It's a little slow, but getting back into it. Breaking back into the mold of things. It's all good. Square one is better than square zero.
Right, yes. There we go.
But you got to get to square one, though. Are you actually on square one? Have you done it yet?
I don't know. I've been paid. I didn't get to the gym.
Oh, I did the gym and a run.
I know.
I feel a new me coming on.
A new what?
A new me.
Okay, good.
A fitter me.
Better man than I am.
Well, yes. As I should be. I'm going to do a chat test. Doing a chat test right now. What? Why does... How do I get to... Here we go. Yo. How do I find my Venmo page? What is this?
Alright, no mail. I like your gigantic brush. There's lots of gigantic brushes. They're so cool. Pookie! That's a pretty girl. I have some new friends today.
You made new friends?
Doggy friends.
Awesome, babe.
Yeah, but yeah, I did make new friends. Met a girl from Japan who moved here. She's really nice, really pretty.
Awesome.
Hi!
I'm gonna put my headphones in a minute, babe.
So what am I allowed to put on the TV?
Just nothing music.
They play music, like in TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, just, I don't know. Nothing. Just, I don't know. I wish I could tell you. Sometimes it catches stuff, sometimes it doesn't. Like, just, I don't know. Be conscious.
Netflix should be okay, right?
I guess so, yeah. Alright, here we go. We're about to start our stream officially now. We've been at it for a few moments. One thing about this, here we go. We can actually delete comment, delete. And off we go to the races. What are we racing? We're racing ourselves. We're racing ourselves in the race of life. We're just here at in the race of life. And let's go. Got a couple interesting fun ideas going on here. So here we are, people. Let's go. Let's see. All right, time to get back to the drawings, the draw-ins. Gonna do this next one right here, people, right over on this side. And here we go. Actually, you know what? We're gonna start with our colored pencil right here. This baby, this Sketcher non-photo blue pencil. Honestly, I don't really know what non-photo means, but maybe it doesn't reflect in a photo. That's a possibility, right? Let's put that right there. Let's put this at the top there. All right, here we go. Okay, let's get back to work. So we're gonna use this right here. Try to bring this a little closer. I'm gonna bring this a little bit closer so we have it right over there. And let's just get started with the bottom of this. First line of the day. There we go. There's the first line of the day. And you know what? Let's go down with this.
Put your clothes away.
And let's see, here we go.
Right? You put your clothes away.
What's up?
You put your clothes away.
Did I? No,
Not out here.
Well, I think we did that last night, didn't we?
I didn't.
Well, someone did it. It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Or if I did, I must have done it the other night. I'm pretty sure we did it the other night because we were trying to...
I don't know.
I was trying to figure something out.
My clothes. Yeah, these are mine.
Anyway, it's all good. We're all good. So let's go with this piece right here. This piece needs to go at an angle.
What's this wet?
Let's go, boom.
Did you take a shower and lean your head against this?
What?
Did you take a shower and lean your head against this?
I did.
Ah, that's what
I did do that.
Okay, as long as the cats didn't pee.
Gazoon tight. And here we go, just bringing in some of our line here. Let's do some line work. And I decided to name this Cheating at Drawing, because what are we doing? Are we cheating? Are we copying? Are we learning how to draw? What are we doing here? So I'm gonna keep this going right now. And we're gonna be drawing for a couple of hours probably, we'll see. And we're gonna come back a little bit. Let's come back a little bit here, and I'm gonna give this a nice slender look. Let's see. I'm gonna go like this, curve that around. One, two. So whatever this is, 1, 1, 2. Let's go like this. And here we go. Just going right above here. And how's that line looking? That line's looking pretty good right now. Gonna look for this line. And just, this is like a hack to learning how to draw. Is just Charles Bargue. These plates will quickly help you learn how to draw and look like you have drawing talent. And all you need to do is copy it. How amazing is that? So let's go like this. There we go. Yeah, just gonna keep this going on. Here we go. And make this line a bit longer than the other one. That's a pretty long line there, but it looks all right. So we're gonna also make this line a little bit. If we go right here and we go to the top of here, I find myself that like whenever I make these lines that are supposed to be straight, I find that they tend to be curved, but I need to break that habit. If I can get that straight, I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. And here we go. So we're right here. And let's go like this. And we're gonna come back around to this wrist area right here, but it's a really long, smooth ride right there. And here we go. We're gonna go. This is, let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, and a bit longer. So whatever this length is, 1, 2, 3, 1. We're just trying to match it. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit longer. So 1, 2, 3, and a little bit longer. Give it a little bit longer. And this will be like the top corner of this thing right here. And then here we go. We're gonna come around, straighten it out, bring this angle down a little bit. And then bring it even down a little bit further. So let's go like this. And there we have it. So we're gonna keep that, and we're just gonna keep our cheating. We're gonna cheat at this drawing and just keep copying. Let's just keep copying what we've got here. We're gonna go bring this thumb up a bit. So nice deep angle like that. And you know what? It looks like I can already see that we're gonna have a couple of issues here. Because this angle is not aligned properly with what's going on here. So you know what? We're gonna make it work. We're gonna find a way. This angle needs to be a bit deeper here. And let's see, we're gonna go. And then let's see, maybe we can actually fudge it. We can actually fudge it just a little bit. Yeah, we can fudge it just a little bit right here. So whatever happened, you know, this angle is not the angle we need. This angle is not the angle we need, but it's okay. I mean, you could kind of like mess around with this and then figure this out. But anyway, as you can tell, like this angle is trying to show us where the thumb should go, but something along the way has made it so that it's not so. And you know what? We reached a point where we're just gonna have to go with it, whether it's totally accurate or not. So sometimes you just got to make that move, right? Sometimes you just got to make that move, and that's what we're gonna run. That's what we're gonna run with. And here we go. This is gonna come up a bit. It's gonna come up and point towards the wrist right there. At a bit of an angle. There we go. And here, this is going to come past a little bit right there. And then and 38% for what's called RDPs, that's rental dwelling properties. Essentially, if you're a property owner that rents out units within that building. Now, if this is approved, it will happen May 1st. And again, State Farm says they've already. Let's see. This should be a good angle right there. Bring this down a bit. They say they need to recover. They need to keep their name in good standing. They say, otherwise their customers may not be able to use them. Now, this should probably just go a little bit further. Let's see. There we go. Raise serious questions about its financial condition. Consumer Watchdog says they're trying to cash in on a wildfire tragedy. So this all has to go through a certain negotiation tactic because of Prop 103. They have to open up the books. And let's actually bring this out a little bit further. I'm gonna go. Boom. And let's find this line right here. I'm going to go a nice subtle line as we go across through the hand. Let's go like this. Officers and National Guard members will be stationed along the highway, keeping traffic moving, and also keeping people away from the fire-ravaged neighborhoods. And there we go. So bring this through the wrist right here, and then we're going to come down and just bring this across, bring it a little bit past, and I think we're good to go. If anything, this wrist looks a little bit thin, a bit narrow. I don't know. We'll just call it a more delicate hand, a more slender fitting hand is what we'll call it here. And we're gonna bring this right here. We'll bring this up. And then bring this up right around where the wrist comes down, like so. And this is where we're going to have a nice dense line. And honestly, we could probably fudge this area a little bit too, you know? Let's erase this. I want to make the wrist look a little bit thicker here. So right around here, we're just going to make this angle a little bit more pronounced and a little bit longer.
The task force's mission will be to make sure air quality monitoring is consistent and that the information...
A little bit longer, and we're going to come like that, and then like this. And just this little bit of a change is going to help us just create a bit of a thicker wrist. Like, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between here and there. Maybe you can if you got a really, really sophisticated eye, but honestly, I don't think it's going to make too big of a difference. So let's bring this down a little bit further. And honestly, I think we could come up with a really nice dense wrist here.
Well, there is one tariff order still in place tonight, the 10% tariff on China. Chinese leaders say the country will, quote, resolutely defend its rights against what it calls a serious violation of World Trade Organization rules. China is the U.S.'s third largest trade partner and the largest outside of North America.
Now let's go down here.
Diversifying its imports since President Trump began campaigning on tariffs.
All right. So that took a little longer than expected, mainly because this wrist is a little bit more narrow and thin than I'd really like it to be. You can see in this area that it's got a little bit more dense. It's a little bit more height. But that's all right. We'll just run with this. And we're going to run with it very well. And it's going to look fantastic. So everything, it all looks good no matter what I do. You can make no mistakes. You can only have wonderful revelations. That's my way of saying what Bob Ross once said. There's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. And we're going to run with a HB pencil here. I'm going to run with the HB pencil. We're going to roll with an HB pencil. And let's see, you're going to come up with this a little bit. Just come up with this a little bit. And then bring this to the tip of the finger here. Bring this down. And we're going to come around.
Here's your answer.
A refreshing iced coffee in any size for just $1.29 during breakfast hours only.
The most important thing is family.
And let's see, so how are we going to navigate this right here? We're going to find a nail. Let's do this nail.
It's members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance policy with our competitive pricing. We offer you our support when you need it, whether it's questions about your policy or with our most trusted roadside assistance service. Visit AAA.com/insurance and find out how much you could save.
And there we go. What's up, Danny E? Hey there, haven't been in, got burnt out from art? Yeah, we've still got the kitties. Let's see if you can see them right now. What's up, Danny? So there's one kitty. There's one kitty right there. There's all my art stuff. This little art pile. So we got one kitty there. Scout, look at me. Scout. Oh no, that's Pookie. Pookie, hey there, Pookie. And then Scout, he's over by the window. He's right. Scout, hey buddy. He's hanging out over there by the window. And I gotta fill this empty space right here with some paintings that I have. But yeah, what's going on? Hope you're doing fantastic. You know, every once in a while, people need breaks, right? You need breaks. You gotta take breaks. And, you know, sometimes you gotta, like, just reconnect with yourself when it comes to art. So do you feel like you're finding your creative spirit again, your creative ideas? Do you feel like you're finding yourself as a creative person again, or are you still questioning, you know, what's going on? Either way, it's okay, you know? I mean, we all have those times. Like, you know, I finished 2 marathons, and I haven't ran since, I've been running a little bit, but I haven't ran consistently since like last March. And you know what? I finally had a conversation with this random guy who we just happened to, you know, have a conversation in a public place, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm thinking about going for my 3rd marathon. We were talking about marathons, and, you know, somehow, in combination with some of the other, like, personal growth things I've been listening to, that conversation was enough to help me get back into running again. So, you know, I've only been at it again for the past few days, but, you know, it feels nice to be back into something. So, you know, I only share that to like share that I hope that you've been able to find your way back, whether it be through a conversation with somebody else or, you know, whatever that is. But I think at the same time, it's good to, like, you know, share your story, to share and find a reason, you know, find that little spark. Even if maybe you haven't found it yet, that's cool too, you know, but if we can help you find that spark, Danny, let us know. You know, Mizu's here. You all too. You don't know why you think I live in LA, but have I been affected? Yeah, I live in LA. I do live in Los Angeles. Sometimes it might not seem like it because there's so much going on in Los Angeles, and you know, there's a protest going on in the middle of the highway. There's fires going on. The Grammys were here yesterday, and you know, you think that someone living in Los Angeles would be like right up in the cusp of it, just like recording videos and like constantly making content about it, but
Sabrina Carpenter won Best Pop Vocal Album, and Doechii took Best Rap Album.
so what I'm trying to do right here is bring up our
Wildfires and honoring first responders. A performance of the
Here we go.
1983 hit anthem "I Love LA" kicked off the show. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars traded in their best pop duo group performance winning song "Die with a Smile" for California Dreaming. Students from schools destroyed in the fires joined Stevie Wonder for a moving rendition of "We Are the World."
pick up that pencil, Danny. Don't do it. I'm just repeating what you said. You said you got to pick up that pencil. Don't do it because I'm saying it. Do it because you're telling yourself to do it. Get that pencil. Get that drawing done.
LA firefighters were also in the spotlight at the show.
Yeah, this was my favorite moment. They received a standing ovation.
I might have to give you a timeout from here.
That was a heartwarming moment for our brave heroes, LA County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney and Fire Chief Sheila Collier.
Just kidding. Unless you want a timeout so that you could go pick up a pencil.
Now, she spoke to us today about her experience and excitement for Beyonce's win.
So, you know, I made the commitment recently that I was going to, over the next few years, I want to complete 5 marathons. So that's my personal goal. Of course, you know, I have art goals as well, you know, and I have work goals. But, you know, the marathon is probably the most challenging of them. And it's the one I probably have, you know, the most control over in myself because, you know what, it's all just straight, just running, staying consistent with running. And you know what, I've committed myself to it. And that's the scariest part, is saying like, hey, I'm going to do this thing. And, you know, I hope that that's helpful.
So, do they still say Oakley?
No, I don't think so.
Even how you said it.
Yeah, I get trouble for that, right?
No, you got to get with me in the commercial break.
There's a lot, yeah.
You're texting me now.
It's like a ring, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you the whole lowdown. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But I will say, my kids and I were watching last night, and it was just such a beautiful moment.
But here we go. We're going to go bring in some of the shadow here. Let's bring the shadow up. And you know, one fun exercise is, oh, you got your first 5K. Hey, nice. You got your first 5K in March. Congrats. That's exciting. Oh, that's 1 month away. All right. Happy times. Yes. Fantastic. Great. I'm so glad to hear. Yeah, that is so exciting. Congratulations. That's a big move right there. So what got you to decide to do a 5K? Let's hear that story. What prompted you to be like, hey, I want to do a 5K?
Then by 8 o'clock, we're expecting to see maybe a few more, but it really doesn't become widespread until Wednesday morning. And through Wednesday morning, we're expecting the heavy rain to move in the late morning hours through 12:15, through 2 o'clock.
Because honestly, you know, I have my reasons, but like, you know, I think it's those first, the first reason that you do something, you know, the first time that you do a 5K, the first time that you like, you know, choose to do a marathon, those are probably the most pivotal moments in like defining, you know, your fitness goals. Not just like, you know, oh, I'm going for a 5th one. That's like totally like an ego goal. But sometimes it's that first one that's like, you know, you really have a reason, right? So I find those stories sometimes more interesting than like, oh yeah, I'm doing my 5th one. So your friends want to do it together. You said, okay, and it's for St. Jude. Awesome. Well, so glad to hear. That is fantastic that you're going for a 5K. You hear that, Kat? They're doing a 5K. Hint, hint, hint. You want to do a 5K, Kat?
I'll do a 5K.
I'm trying to get my partner to do some more running again.
Yeah, in 2 months.
What do you say, Kat?
My goal is to do one in 2 months.
Oh, you want to do a 5K in 2 months? Or you want to just like regularly run?
I need to start running, and then I'll do a 5K.
All right. See, Danny, somehow you've inspired my partner too. Now that you said that, see how like inspiration and this spark just spreads? Even if it's a little bit of a pressure, like I kind of put her on the spot, and now she's like, well, if I don't say I'm gonna do it, I look bad. So like a little bit of pressure and on the spot. You know, I don't recommend it for everybody, but you know, sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes it's helpful, but it's not for everybody. I get it. But St. Jude's a great cause. Very cool. Very amazing. So excited to hear about that progress. Yeah, 5Ks are great because there's so many people at a 5K. And, you know, usually 5Ks, they have so many things to look forward to. I don't want to spoil your first 5K for you. But, you know, it's an amazing effort. And you know what? Just be prepared to possibly get super addicted to the feeling of like getting a medal and chasing shiny objects that you're just like, oh, I want to do more. Be prepared for the best. But that's amazing that you have friends that are inspiring you to do a 5K. Totally happy for you. And I look forward to hearing about that progress. So how many runs have you gotten? What's your running progress now, if you don't mind sharing? And if you don't feel comfortable sharing, that's fine too. Don't worry. I get it. If you really don't feel comfortable sharing, I totally understand, and you know you don't have to. So where's that progress? Where's that progress right now? Whew.
I understand. That's why with your current investments, we keep a disciplined approach with your portfolio, helping you
we check in regularly to keep you informed.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Hard-hitting, fast-paced,
Such a pretty
inside
girl.
Fisher.
Look at this pretty girl. She's so
Salvage
cute.
operations continue near Reagan
So
National Airport after last week's deadly mid-air collision between a commercial plane and an Army helicopter. Today, crews pulled parts of the aircraft and more human remains from the Potomac River. So far, 55
15-minute mile. Hey, that's fine. You know, that means you can finish a 5K in 45 minutes. That's great.
3 Army officers have also been identified, and federal investigators are
You know, I mean, of course, right? Like, you're not going to get top 5, but,
supposed to have a preliminary report within 30 days.
you know, it's somewhere, you know, at least you know, right? Like, just this idea of, like, tracking your progress can help you get so far.
Part of an enhanced security zone, the French
It'll help you get so far.
will also be set up at all entrances. The coolers or ice chests are allowed and bags.
But that's totally exciting.
We're all committed to ensuring that we have a beautiful and an exciting Super Bowl week here.
Excited for you.
The upgrades follow.
And that's going to be so great. How many times have I said that I'm excited for you? Maybe like, I'm repeating the same thing over and over at this point, but yes. That's a big move. A 5K. I remember like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, before I ever did my first 5K, I was like fascinated by people who did 5Ks. Like is this 5 years ago? Oh no, wait, a minute, yeah, something like 5 years ago, before I got into running, I was like fascinated by anybody who like did a 5K. And of course, you know, now after I've, you know, finished a marathon, it's not like, I'm not like, I mean, unless they're like top 5, I'm not like, ooh, but, you know, definitely I just remember being in awe when I first got into running. And, you know, I think that it is a positive thing it is a very big step to do a 5K. Still an accomplishment. We're all coming from different places, and that's very exciting.
Mouth-watering taste of high-quality chicken right in your own kitchen. Redbird Farms Super French Drumsticks bring restaurant-grade flavor to your party. When your next gathering is around the corner, count on the mess-free chicken that is sure to impress. Look for Redbird Farms Super French Drumsticks in the frozen section, and bring home the taste of Redbird Farms chicken, what real chicken tastes like. Grill it, fry it, grill it and hard.
Yeah.
She'll make it Redbird Farms.
You never done any running before, but you're only able to run once a week. Yeah. So did you like come up with did you find like a routine or anything, or did you talk to your doctor? You don't have to share anything that's, you know, anything tied to your health or anything like that. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm just like, you know, what, just out of curiosity, like, how are you preparing for it? What sort of resources
Isn't for type 1 diabetes or children. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles.
have you chosen to study?
TC, MN2, or if allergic to it. Stop taking and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or any of these allergic reactions. Tell your provider if you plan to have surgery or procedure for breastfeeding, pregnant, or
Okay.
serious side effects may
So we've got some of the shadows here.
gallbladder problems or changes in vision. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Taking with sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, 5Ks are great. And, you know, the location of a 5K can be so fantastic. It gets addicting. You know, when you get a chance to, like, one 5K I did was through a stadium, like like a football stadium, which was pretty dang cool to just have that that whole stadium just shut down just for this 5K.
I didn't know Judge did that. He knows
And overall, just an amazing experience. So, totally happy for you.
So you went down there
And here we go. So, I'm going to go bring this about.
yeah, parking and all that crap.
And here we go. So we're going to go down into here. Oh, that's a horrible line right there. It is horribly curved. So the reason it's once a week is because it's pretty dark at night. So you run with a friend, you run with your male friend. Yeah, it can be hard to find the right times to run, you know, especially if you live in a city and you need to find people and all that. I totally get it. And you know what? This is gonna sound dumb or silly or whatever. I don't know the right word for it, but you know, at one point I had to ask myself. I was like, you know, why am I scared to run at night? And I actually asked myself that question. I was like, am I afraid to run in the dark? And you know, at some level, like, I'm not like scared to run in the dark. But, you know, when I asked myself that question, I'm like, what's the real thing that stops me from running at night? And I try to convince myself that I was scared to run in the dark. So that, you know, that like ego would chime in and be like, no, you're not scared. You're going to do it. But I also think about it and I'm like, yeah, depending on where you live, running in the dark can be intimidating, you know? You never know what's out there, especially if you're in a city, like who's living there. Like I've had, you know, not even people, but like sometimes someone rocking their dog, you know, their dogs, not everybody trains their dogs properly. And, you know, I've had at least a couple of times when, you know, there was some dog that was not properly trained. And then, you know, they kind of like, as you're running by, they start, they almost attack you. Now, fortunately, I've never been attacked by a dog. But, you know, especially at night, you know, things, depending on where you live, it's totally important to, you know, to do it safely. And that's great that you have a friend that's willing to run with you and help support you in that endeavor. That's fantastic.
Really?
He and his crew saved it. In my home, I just got moved. Walking around your home almost 4 weeks later, still damaged and smoky. Miss Ross can't help but remember the brave men she now calls her heroes. Well, if you're out there, thank you, I love you guys. With a little searching, we realized we were there too. We're here on Olive right now, and the crew wasn't too far away. The 4 firefighters who showed up that day.
So yeah, whatever you could do to get it in, you know. Plus, with a busy schedule, you know, like sometimes just getting in one run a week is a feat. Is a feat that, you know, most people don't even try. So the fact that you're putting in the effort, keep it up. Keep it up. And all the great things that you want, these goals that you have set, the fitness that you're seeking, it will all come with time.
Yeah.
This I feel like this hand's a bit of a lazy hand.
In fact, they found her again 2 days later when she showed up to get clothes and took this photo. But then it was back to work for 3 weeks in Altadena, but with thousands of homes lost, they admit saving her home.
This hand feels like a lazy hand. There are so many things up with this hand that I'm like, if I spent some more time to fix it, it would get just right. But we're just going to keep going with this hand. Because I'm ready for another hand. I did this yesterday, a smaller version of it. And I think now, but you know, one great thing about running that I found that, you know, it's scary because the feeling of running is just so dang good. Whenever I'm done running, my body feels so good. It just blows my mind. But like, I just can't, for the longest time, I couldn't stand the actual activity of running. Like I don't know if sometimes I wonder if the cortisol, the stress of the idea of running counteracts the actual activity of running, like how good it is for you. But you know, I took like 9 months off, pretty much 9 months. You know, I maybe ran less than 50 miles over the past year, which if you're training for a marathon, 50 miles is like nothing. 50 miles is like what you should do in 1 week. But that said, you know, it's nice to reflect on it, like to recognize how my body feels when I'm not running. And you know what? It kind of like gives me a new appreciation for jumping back into running. And you know what? I hope that you're able to find that too in some way. Find the positive elements of the running activity. And here we go. And now,
yeah, so we had Chinese New Year show Friday night and Saturday. I told
they only give them a certain amount of time once they declare that dispersal order.
Yeah,
so
he's like, well, she's
it
gone.
looks like they obviously are making moves to push that crowd back. You did see an officer facing off with some of those protesters there, but haven't seen necessarily any justice yet.
so one of my favorite, and I guess like, you know, it's not the same. Everyone's motivated differently. I understand that, but like one of my favorite books on running, since we're on that conversation, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I absolutely love that book because, you know, I feel like when you hear from somebody who's as intense as David Goggins, someone who's like that, I don't want to call him out of his mind because, you know, he's definitely in his mind. You know, someone that is that intense of a personality, that hardcore, that like hardened of a mentality. I feel like just reading or like listening to his philosophy on fitness and exercise is enough to like pull you in a positive direction. Now, obviously, you know, you don't want to listen to him too much because, you know, that could be room for injury.
it was weird. It's like,
You know, you want to talk to your doctor and listen to what your doctor says, but
you should get out of the car.
you know, I think if just having that like energy around you, even a little bit,
Your mom is skinny.
just looking at his Instagram channel and everything has was a bit enough to like get me through to doing my first full. And my full times aren't that great, you know. My full times are something like my first full was 5 hours 41 minutes. My second full marathon was 6 hours 17 minutes. So obviously I lost a lot of time between my first marathon and my second one. You know what, this hand, are we liking this hand? Am I ready to move on? The time between, I lost a lot of time between my first and my second marathon because I wasn't really training for it. I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. This thumb kind of looks weird. I gotta get rid of this little area right here.
I'm not feeling any pain in my heel. That's where I always feel it. Yeah.
I could walk all day in these.
Take back the life you love. Book your personalized art support fitting today.
I wanted to soften that thumb a little bit. And you know what? This looks better. I think this thumb actually looks a little bit thicker. But you know what? That's okay. I think I like the thinness of this thumb. And let's see if we can get rid of some of these blue lines, just because the light's causing them to like reflect, and it's creating this like weird highlight. And I feel like if we just remove some of them, it'll be a little bit better. Can't give away all our secrets. I don't want people to see that I'm cheating with guidelines. I'm an artiste. I should be able to draw without any guides whatsoever. I am an artiste. One of my creative mentors, not necessarily my art teacher, but he did teach me in some arts. One of my creative, so I call him a creative mentor. I won't specifically name him or like say what subject matter. But one of the things he said to me, he's like, those of you in this class right now, if you ever get asked the interview question, you know, how did you accomplish X, Y, and Z? So like if you're asked the question, you know, how did you come up with this idea, or how did you do this or that? And I'm a failure at this. His wisdom is to say simply talent. Just say it's talent. Leave the mystery. Allow other people to solve the mystery of you. And you know, I usually I take the whole opposite thing and just show everything. You know, I'm an open book, but you know, there's some value to that, right? There's some value to you know, leaving some of your techniques a mystery. And you know what? Maybe, you know, sometimes some things are much harder to be kept a mystery. But for me, you know, I personally never really agreed with that philosophy, as you could tell. And, you know, I just sheer power of will is how I do most things. You know, like my first marathon. I think also with my first marathon, it was good to be naive in a sense of I didn't know how badly it would suck. I didn't realize like how badly my first marathon would suck. All right, we're gonna put Go Danny E 5K on here. Go Danny E 5K Wee. There you go. A little shout out to Danny for popping into here. Oh, Danny E 5K Wee. I've been coming up with a lot of rhymes recently. One of them is, hello little cat, what are you staring at? And I say that to my cats because sometimes when I do things like wash dishes, they just sit there and they stare at me. And I feel like I have to ask them, why are they staring at me? But I'm going to take a quick water break. We're going to be back in just a moment. All right, everybody, and we're back. We're gonna start on round 2. We did about a 50-something minute stream so far, just drawing. So we're gonna do round 2, our next hand. Let's do another hand now. Oh, here we go. Round 2, here we go. Let's go, everybody. Round 2. And we're gonna go with our colored pencil right here, our little non-photo blue pencil, and let's just start. So what happens is basically we do small ones first, and then we do some big ones, and then we do some small ones, and then we do a big one. Small one, big one. Small ones, big ones. And we just repeat this process over and over and over and over until, I guess, at some point we're going to get to the end of the book. I don't know if that's going to take 1 year, maybe by this summer. I don't know how I'm going to actually draw these pieces, but you know, I am curious to see how these pieces come together. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to see what's going to come from those. So let's take a pencil, let's take a hand right here, and we're going to go, start with the hand tip right here. So 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Get a nice straight line there. Look at that straight line. Can everybody see that? Nobody can see my straight line. My goodness. Let's go. Nice straight line right here. It's not a good straight line because the angle is a little off. So let's start over. It's the very first line. This is why I can never do digital art. Is because if it was digital art, I would do this like 5, 6, 7 times until I felt like it was right. Yeah, 5, 6, 7 times, and like, you know, I feel like with physical art, I can just be like, okay, it's close enough. But with digital art, there's no close enough. There's like, you either got it or you didn't, and you really have no excuse because, you know, you're never gonna run out of eraser, you're never gonna run out of lead, you're never gonna run out of space, you're never going to mark up the paper so much that it becomes illegible or unviewable. So because of that, you know, when it comes to digital art, like, I just couldn't do it because I would just like redo stuff over and over and over and get nowhere. And then I would spend the rest of the time trying to figure out the tools, which, you know, of course, eventually you learn the tools, you memorize. I gotta slow down my way of talking just so I could be a little bit more chilled, because I realized that a lot of how I talk can be a little bit fast and maybe even annoying. So I gotta remind myself to slow down my speech a little bit. And what was I just saying? So digital art, yes. I found that, you know, with digital art, I would just make and remake the same lines over and over and over again, and you know what, it just like, I could make stuff, but you know, I just couldn't do it in a way that I felt happy with. And honestly, I think this hand is starting to get too big. Hopefully I could do a better job on this wrist here. Let's go like this. I'm gonna go right here. And let's go. There we go. This looks good. This looks good right here. See, I know this is a little long. This is long. This is long. But anyway, we're gonna go like this.
It'll be drier by the weekend and better chance.
Yeah, with digital art, I would just find myself just sitting here. And you can imagine, you know, me erasing this line 1 or 2 or 3 times, but just like, I would sit there clacking away at the digital keyboard and just like, Control Z, Control Shift Z, and like, you know, the amount of time that I would spend just fixing lines was just absurd. And I feel like this line's going to be a little bit shorter than it's supposed to be. But we're just going to go with it here. So here we go. Let's see. Actually, it's not too bad. We can actually keep this around this length. This length will be not so bad here. Now, what I do have to be careful of here is figuring out exactly, you know, how wide. You know, I gotta make it at least proportional. I can already tell that this area is, or this space right here, this piece is longer and this piece is longer. So I gotta be careful and find, you know, good balance of length and width here. And here we go. We're gonna bring this down and we're gonna boom, just like boom, boom, boom. Bring this wrist down, right like that. And here we go. So as we move on, here we go. We're gonna find a finger right here. And find a nice finger right around here. One of these fingers. Maybe widen it just a little bit so we could capture this proportion right here. Try to keep the proportions right. Even though, you know, I made the mistake of making these lengths a little too long. Honestly, this finger. What should I do? What should I do? I've already gotten so far. Should I like... I'm thinking that this and this are like too... This one needs to be longer. Whatever shall I do? I feel like, alright, here's what we're going to do. Going to make this a little bit longer. Just a little bit, like a hair longer. And that's going to be just enough so that we can... Just enough. Oh, that's not going to work either. Here we go. Gotta bring like this. Alright, well hopefully that does the job. This looks significantly longer now, so that's alright. Alright, let's go like this. Bring this knuckle up right there. And bring it nice sharply down. And let's see here. So this will be coming down just a little bit below that, which means that's a little too far. Cut that off like right there. And here we go. So just moving along, just copying, right? This is the easiest way to learn how to draw. This is the easiest way to pick up drawing, is just copy. Now, you know what? You're not going to win any technique points. You're not going to get 500 upvotes on Reddit. You're not going to get, you know, 1 million viral Instagram views making a video like this and, you know, showing people that you're copying. But you know what? You will learn to draw. You will learn the skills, the aesthetic of fine art. Which, you know, depending on your goals, whether if you just want virality on Instagram or YouTube, you know what? You got to do a totally different type of art. A totally different type of art. You know, I know this. A totally different type of art here. Maybe a little bit closer. And here we go. So this is going to go like this, and we're going to find one more right around here. Let's find another piece. It curves up a bit. Make it a little wider than the others. Bring it up like right there.
Our family, watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday. And if you ever have a problem,
Let's see, this can come down a little further, I think. Yeah. Bring this down a bit more. Maybe even deeper on this angle here. I'm going to go a little deeper on this angle.
Why? If you're 50 or older, even if you're healthy, you're 6 times more likely to be hospitalized. So schedule at faxassist.com.
And there we go. So, going to bring this finger right across here. And then bring this right up to the edge. Right there. And not let them touch. But here we go. We're going to bring this in right there. And there we go, a little bit of progress here as we're going along. And you know, you just realize that this is so relaxing. And I say that from the perspective of, you know, I think a lot of, at least based on what I see on Reddit, I see so many people saying, upset when they only get like 5 or 10 views. But you know what keeps me going is there's like only a handful of people that, you know, I really feel the need to impress, for lack of a better term, right? There's really only like a handful of people. And sometimes I know who they are. You know, like certain people that have hired me for commissions. And then, you know, other people, for the majority, you know, I think people are like, the expectation on Reddit is that, you know, their art should be getting millions of views when all they've done is a couple of sketches or drawings. But I think where the excitement of drawing comes from isn't the millions of views. It's the few people that are just like, yo, this is great. I love it. I like it so much. Thank you so much for, like, you know, making these videos or whatever, right? Or sharing your pieces. Or, you know, the few artists that maybe you connect with and, you know, you're just in constant interaction with them. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm sure that it feels great. I'm sure it's a great feeling, and it's not something I'm opposed to, but I'm sure it's a great feeling to have, you know, 5 million likes on an art piece that you created. And of course, with 5 million likes, you probably got gallery representation, etc., blah, 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 all those things. But I find art in itself as its own reward. Just this, like, you know, the only outcome is the outcome itself. I'm not going to sell a sketch. This sketch isn't for sale. But I do know that, you know, those of you that watched my streams previously, part of the reason why I'm doing this, even in the first place, is because I have a, you know, a good commission coming up this summer. And I want to be prepared for it with extra preparatory sketches. Not necessarily for them, because it's supposed to be, I don't know exactly what it's going to be of yet, but just in general, you know, having my drawing muscles ready. Because if I spend too much time doing abstract stuff or my free painting stuff, you know, I definitely feel that my drawing skills can suffer a little bit. My drawing skills can suffer a little bit as much as it is fun and as much as I love it. So, you know, there's a purpose to this. It's not totally devoid of reason or whatever. But, you know, I find this to be an incredibly relaxing, rewarding activity. Just this idea of being able to go through this. You know, you're not thinking, you're just copying. You know, you're just looking at one side to the other, going back and forth. Going back and forth, making mistakes, fixing your mistakes. No, you know, and at the end of it, you know you're coming up with something nice that you can be excited about and proud of. And yeah, so this is great. I love the Charles Band projects. And they take a good amount of time. If you want to do them like do them well, each of these can take like an hour or more. Some of these it's taking me like 2 hours. And maybe I'm just slow. That's a possibility too. But at the same time, it is what it is. So let's go like this. You know what? I want to use a HB for our outline here. So we're gonna go. And let's loosen up with our pencil grip here. I don't want to give it this like death grip from the front. I think that could be really bad on a wrist. Because, you know, to get big movements, you're like constantly like this and it's like bad for the wrist. I think if you're going with a longer sweep, you get more accomplished. There's an actual science to this. And here we go. So, let's see where that line ends. Okay, so this is going to come up here. And there we go. Going to bring that line up. And I'm going to bring this line down. And it's going to come around. Let's go like this. We're going to bring this up a little bit. And then bring down this little wrist area here. That's a little bit too deep. You bring this up just a tiny bit here. There we go. And bam. So slowly building the color, the pencil color on top of this darker, lighter shade here. And let me figure out what this knuckle represents. So this knuckle is like, I guess where the shadows end. So that's kind of cool. I like that. So let's go like this. And then this is going to bring up like that. And let's go bring this knuckle, some knuckle definition here. And let's go. It's going to come a little deeper. Maybe even touch right there. Touch that line right there. Ah, here we go. That's like a guideline right there. Touch that line. And then we're going to go along the top edge here and just follow this shadow. Try to give it a bit more of a natural look. You know, we all know that fingers, like, you know, they're not totally flat like the way I drew it. So just knowing that, you know, it's enough to give us some detail to go off of. And bring our shadow down right here. We're going to bring our shadow down right this way here, people. Bring this shadow down and bam. Wonderful. Fantastic. Look at just how smoothly this shadow comes right down. Or this line, this outline. We're going to call it an outline, not a shadow, because that's what this is. It's an outline. The outline for our shadows. You might hear me switching in and out of different voices. It's not that I have a split personality. It's that I've chosen to split my voice personality. Anytime I realize that I'm starting to sound like my regular enthusiastic voice, I feel like I might be a little too fast speaking, you know? Some people like to hear nice, slow, calming, soothing words. And I gotta remember that. That is something I gotta remember. If I was to really think about what I'm doing in my live streams, you know, and I'm really like thinking about the feedback. If I give myself my own feedback and, you know, wonder, what are people not telling me? I sometimes wonder, are people saying that I have, you know, do people think I have an annoying voice? Now, no one's actually ever said that to me. But, you know, sometimes when you're live streaming, or when you're like pursuing a craft or something, there's things that people don't tell you because they don't want to offend you. And that's cool too, you know? Like I don't think anyone, there are very few people that would ever tell me like, hey, your voice is annoying. So, you know, I got to be like critical of myself. And when I listen to my live stream sometimes, it's not that I don't like my voice. I like my voice. But I also realize that for watching it for too long, it could be a little bit overwhelming, you know. Even my partner says I have a very booming voice, and sometimes that can, you know, cause you to be distracted, or, you know, it's just not calming. So if you hear me switching in and out of my voices, that's probably why. And I'm trying to get used to coming up with a slower, more relaxing voice for the sake of my YouTube live streams. And that's that. So here we go. We're going to continue on, build up this knuckle right here. One thing that I find can be a challenge sometimes is just making the right shape of knuckle. Knuckles can be hard because, you know, they can be,
As far as last night is concerned, you did see me doing the arrest, right? You didn't see any arrest. They didn't have to do that. Last night.
and here we go. We're going to bring our finger out like so, like this, like this. Bring it back in, and I give it some nice length right here. And here we go. I was listening to this YouTube video. It was about like Quentin Tarantino and like what Quentin Tarantino did to, like, you know, just go from a regular guy working at a video store to the Quentin Tarantino. And supposedly, what he did was he would sit up at night, and he would just be up at night, in the middle of the late nights, working at this video store, and he would sit there, and he would write all the things he was doing wrong and how to fix them. And then, you know, he would figure out what he had to take action on. Of course, you still have to take the actions. You can't just, you know, sit there and criticize yourself all night. But, you know, he was very clear with himself about what he needed to do to do better. And you know what? It made me think. I was like, what can I do that makes these streams better? And, you know, one of those things is modifying my voice, some voice modulation to make it more easy to take in. If that makes sense. So here we go. And let's go. We got these knuckles going here. We're gonna go. This is like a little piece right there. And we're gonna go. Let's go to the top of this knuckle here. So just adding in some shadow right there. That's gonna come right there.
Why did you think this?
And trying to give this some more natural feeling right here. And of course, there's a lot of shadow right in this section right here. So we're gonna go like this. Bring in a little bit, or bring in a little bit across the top right here. And this finger, I can already see it's a little bit bigger. I don't know how I reached this point where, you know, I've made this so much bigger than that. I'll figure it out one day. The sooner the better. But somehow I usually end up with this like, my lines are longer. And you know what? If I'm really thinking about it, I'm like, you know, it's probably just from, I just have to be conscious of it, you know, that is my flaw. I wouldn't call it a fatal flaw, but it is my flaw. The flaw. It is a flaw. And, you know, not to be too hard on ourselves, right? But with Charles Bargue, the original like way that this was designed was so that, you know, you were basically pretty much just graded on how closely you came to the original like design. So because of that, you know, we have to consider like, you know, if that was the original intent, then to like have some of that, take some of that into consideration, but not, you know, make it the only thing that defines whether we did a good job or not. But it is nice to have like our own little criteria, right? Like if you're trying to learn drawing on your own and you know, you want to be like a self-taught artist, then you have to be really self-motivated. You know, you have to be really capable of not just being self-motivated, but like, you know, the best thing in art school, I went to a digital art school, so, you know, not even the traditional one, but from what I've heard, even from other people talking about it that have gone to art school, you know, the best thing about art school isn't the fact that they give you like assignments. Like art school, you know, it's not just the series of assignments that make it great, right? I mean, yes, they help you possibly find, you know, shows if you're really talented. But where art school really separates, I think, a lot of artists, based on what I've heard, it is that, you know, you sit with a group of students and you critique each other. You learn so much from your critiques. And if you don't have that type of support, you know, if you don't have like a group of people that you can just like trust to give you good feedback on your work, you're going to be put really far behind. And that's where I found it really helpful to be in that digital art school. So we had, you know, we had virtual critiques, which are quite a bit different than regular critiques in person, because it's still a little less personal. You know, there's like there's like that element of just getting personal with some of the things that people say that can, you know, possibly change the way you do your work. And that's probably one of the most valuable things that you could probably take away from art school is these critiques that that the self-trained artist, you know, maybe it's for the better, but that the self-trained artist does not have. And that's a big advantage, though, by the way, these self-critiques, because, you know, unless you're really good at self-critiquing or really good at getting, you know, really good at seeking others' feedback. If you could be good at those things, you know, I'm sure that the critiquing in art school could be, you know, it's easily skipped. But most of us, I think the truth is most of us are like, you know, most artists, at least based on what I've seen on various social media, you know, they're not really ready for that. They're not really ready to have somebody critique their work. Even though that's like a totally natural, that's totally like a natural thing in art school, right? Like every art school has it. You can't avoid them. But, you know, there's people who want to be artists who have never had their work like critiqued and they're totally terrified to. And then they say they want to be a self-taught artist. But, you know, they're unprepared for the most basic of things that, you know, art school does. And it's not even like, you know, it's not even hard to find that. So that's my thought from, you know, not a total art school, but that was my experience with studying with a variety of people. But yeah, you know, you look at a lot of work really quickly and learn to figure out how to see and perceive and view others' work, and, you know, come up with ways to interpret. So here we go. We got some issues right here. This needs to be a little bit longer, so I need to push this back a little bit and go like that. This is going to be where the angled part is. We need some wrinkles coming down here.
No, not necessarily. They're stable.
Let's go 1, 2. And then we're going to go, that's the other one. We're going to come down with this one.
So they might have a resonance without, of course.
And let's see, we're going to go 1, 2 into here. And then we're going to go a couple little wrinkles in here. Let's add one more. Alright. Where are we at? Where is this piece? We're doing pretty good right here. How are these knuckles looking? We need right around here, we need like a little triangle right there.
Yeah, people who are seeing it are not.
And let's see how we can add a fingernail. Little fingernail right there. And let's see how this is going to look. Alright, we're going to go right here. Get a little bit of these knuckle lines. And here we go. So gonna go bring that down there. Let's see how we can keep this moving. So let's take a look. Let's get a little update. You know, what we did is pretty much copied this. You know, as you can see, it's a little bit bigger. So, you know what, for whatever reason, my visual cue enlarged this, and I felt like I had to commit to the bit. So, you know, I pretty much enlarged the rest of it, right? All I did was, you know, I was constantly seeing proportions. Like, I guess once I realized that some of it is a little off, you know, as long as you constantly seek out, like, proportions, like, okay, this is a little bit longer than that, you know, where this is up, this is a little bit up from there, this is a little bit down from there. As long as you, you know, try to aim to, as long as you aim to, like, keep most things in the same position, you're going to be okay. And that's what I like to tell myself. So, you know, I don't feel too bad about mistakes. But am I just justifying my mistakes, or is it actually a reasonable mistake? I don't know. Let's go like this. And we're going to bring a nail down. Let's see. Okay, that's a little better. And let's see where else we can make some improvements. Before we get into like the guts of everything, maybe make a little bit of a shadow right there, and we're gonna add a nice. What's going on right here? We're gonna go right down into here.
She said her daughter was too big to sit in the back. And she was like size 12. How was that too big? One of the performers, the drummer, Bruce arranged carpets because it was far away.
All right, and we're actually going to shade in down here because this shade is a little bit lighter than the others here.
Yeah, and then we were performing, it was our second show.
And here, going to go bring up like that. We're just going to go up and across here. Let's go right, nice and deep right there.
No, this is while we were performing. I know, so I had told her.
All right. So we've got some of our light pencil colors here. Now let's go to our darker pencil colors. Let's do this. Here we go. Go nice and deep down. And here we go here. I'm going to go around and try to keep it, not try, do or do not. There is no try. Who can argue the wisdom of Yoda? I challenge anyone in here to argue the wisdom of Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. There is no try, people. You either did it or you didn't. Do or do not. Is no try. So let's go ahead and darken this area right here. And there we go. Some nice dark shadows right there. We can start to see some separation, some change here. And once we start to add these shadows, everything just comes along. It's like magic. Drawing is seriously like magic. Start with nothing. You literally create something out of nothing. I mean, any art is like magic, isn't it? Magic is art. Art is magic. Magic is art. Art is magic.
So, Michael told me.
Like, even magicians have to come up with, like, with like, you know, their own tricks, and they come up with devices that like that are magical. I'm gonna just darken some of these lines a bit here. Nice bold line right there. Let's go right up here.
So I asked Michael if it was in a treehouse. He said no.
When it comes to health,
How's their
it's
beard?
easy to feel like just a number. But at Keck Medicine PhD, our expertise
Is that the way we went to
And we're just gonna go right into here. Excuse me. Maybe bring in some more shadow across the top here, just to darken some of it. And let's go around like so.
Oh, I see.
And here we go. So, trying to find the right angle for this. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe we can add a little bit more shadow as we go into here. That's a little too much there. A little too deep. Let's see. See how it looks on camera. That's not too bad. Along the top there. Not too bad. So we're going to leave that for now. If we want to erase it and modify later, we can. But for now, just working on this section. No, we got a nice color right there. Some nice coloration. Let's go like this. And let's go. Gotta stretch my wrist out sometimes. And here we go. Go right into this right here.
Are you going to?
And let's see, where can we do right here that gets the deepest of shadows?
No, I'm glad you're not going.
And there's a little bit of a highlight like right here. So I'm gonna just like lighten it just a little bit. Just the tiniest bit here. Just so I can like create this little transition area. But honestly, it's like so unnoticeable. I don't even think it's worth it to like really attempt that. But there we go. All right, so let's find how we can make this just a little bit more natural. This angle. Actually, at this point, I can't really change this angle. It would have had to have been something. Yeah. So you know what? Let's evaluate. Let's get critical here. Not critical as in critical of ourselves, but critical as in, you know, what we could have done better. And you know what? I will be able to do this another time because I'm going to do a bigger version of this. But what needs to improve with this? You know, that's the whole purpose of Bargue is, or one of the biggest purposes of Bargue is to be able to self-evaluate, you know, to literally have this thing right here. And, you know, technically you're supposed to copy side to side, right? Tape this down, rip this out, tape it down, rip this out, tape it down, and just go perfectly across. And then, you know, it's all dependent on how good of a copier you are.
Yeah, I already have a point.
But, you know, I chose to do it differently. We all can make a choice, right? And when I self-evaluate, when I self-consider like what the issues are. You know, definitely find that I could have gone more with an angle here. This is a little bit too, like, the wrist looks exaggeratedly in, right? There's no, like, natural, it looks unnatural how straight this is. And you know what? There is a bit of an unnaturalness here, but you know, given that there's a bit of an unnaturalness in the actual piece itself, still good to, you know, check out where your own issues are and be able to think about them. So let's go like that. Boom, boom, boom. And like that. Pow, pow. Bring this forward. Pow. And we'll bring it under. Change the light a little bit just because when it reflects too much, it could just be overly reflective. But you know, it looks alright. It looks okay. So, something we could be happy with. Now let's go on and we'll do the next hand. So, let's take a little break here. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Just gonna take a quick drink of water here. We'll be right back, people. In the meantime, everybody can look at our cat. Let's see. You see the cat right there? Oh, she knows that she is being watched now, so she just turned her back on the camera. Alright. It's like, you're not gonna film me. Come here, Pookie. Talking to you. Come here, little kitty, big kitty.
Tell me about the one that's in disrepair. Is it big?
Melissa said hi.
Yeah, right. I believe it.
Say hi to Melissa.
Oh, Emma says hi. Melissa says hi. So you're not interested in...
Scout, what are you eating, bro?
No, tiny.
Hey, cat. Scout's eating whatever's in that bowl.
It's pastry.
Okay. Just letting you know. So that when you put it in your mouth and you think it tastes funny, that's why.
What did you find today?
Fern. Hello, Fern.
Where?
Hey, kitty. You'll be okay? Huh?
Is that far away? Hey, Scout! Pastry.
All right. Next phase, people. Here we go. We're going to be on to the next phase.
Yeah, how far away is it?
Let's go to our next phase right now. Our next phase of drawing. Actually, no, we're going to take a photo of our previous one first before we go on here. Oh, that's not what we drew. That's not what we did just earlier. Let's get a photo of this. there's definitely a question here. How long can I actually draw for? I have no clue right now. I have no clue. Like, you know what? Like, sometimes I feel like I could go longer, but I feel like I shouldn't. And then I wonder, like, why do I feel like I shouldn't? Is it because I actually shouldn't, or just because... Or because, like, you know, my body actually needs a break? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Let's do this other piece right here. We're going to go with... Of course, we're going to use our karandashe. I feel like that's a Japanese word. Karandashe. Karandashe. Alright, so we're going to go here. And let's go... And here we go. We're going to go right into here. And we're going to go bring this down. And here we go. Just finding this knuckle movement. Oh yeah, so this should go straight through. I see what's going on here. So this pretty much needs to go straight through whatever's happening. And let's go around here. Bam. And here we go. And we're going to go boom, boom, boom. Actually, you know what? Let's do this one first. This is an important one, because if we could do this one... And let's try to find our finger spaces here. We're gonna go, and we're also gonna go, that should be about parallel. So parallel right there. Maybe this length is a little long, but that makes sense. Alright, so let's figure this out. We're going to go a little bit right here, and then right up here. So, boom. And let's go with our thumb here. This is almost lined up pretty perfectly, so we're going to go with that. And let's go right here. Bam. And we're going to come down right here. And bam. And bam. I like to make noises. Bam. Like emerald, right? We're like chefs. Let's pretend to be chefs here. We're putting pieces together, a little recipe, putting one line next to another, and somehow it eventually becomes a drawing like bam. Bam. And here we go. So I'm using I'm actually using these fingers to figure out like what the actual length of this line should be. I just have these as guidelines for now, and eventually I'll probably change them, because, you know, I'm not fully committed to these lengths yet, but I want to use the fingers to try to find the dimension rather than using this and then finding the dimension with the fingers, because I have that opportunity right now. Got to use different strategies for different pieces. This one pretty much goes straight down, so it creates this angle here. And then we're going to go up with it. And go up, up, and away. Right there. And now that we have that, we pretty much know, like, actually, you know what, I could probably make it just a little bit more. I want to use these other erasers.
The house with the yard.
Use these other erasers to erase away this section. And it's like bam, 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 bam. All right. Looks like bam, bam. A nice line right there. Cool. There we go. All right, and then let's get another line right here. This is going to be. Let's find a good reference. No, we're just gonna have to make it. We're just gonna have to make it here. Just make the line. Right there. I think that's it. A little bit longer. Right there. Tiny bit longer. Okay, right there. That's enough. No more messing with that line. And now that we have that, we can figure out, like, basically, like, where everything else needs to end. So, this piece is going to be pretty much parallel. Right here. It's going to be a big pinky, but that's okay. And let's erase away a bit of this. And let's go like so. So we're really just using this right here to figure out how the rest of our shapes are going to go. That's going to come up to this piece right here, but also this one. Let's really round that out. And we need to find this coming through. So this is going to come through parallel to there. And I think this is a good spot. If I draw this line through parallel, because this is a tube coming through, right? So one thing I'm thinking is this is going to come through like boom. It's going to come like it's a little bit low. You go a little bit higher. And let's go, bam, bam, and here we go. Here we go, just copying these, just boom, 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 boom. And honestly, I'm not even like copying it exactly, like, you know, going across. I'm just looking at proportions, looking at angles, and just building up this drawing from there. And that's how we do it. That's how I'm doing it. I guess anybody can pretty much do it however they want. And there's a right way of doing these. You know, people like to say there's no right way or wrong way of doing art, but this was actually developed. Charles Bargue was developed at a time when society felt that there was a right way of doing art. Society, you know, artists didn't have expression at the time. Artists weren't really supposed to like have an opinion on how things should look. They weren't really supposed to come up with their own aesthetic. You know, they were really just supposed to follow the master of the time. Whoever was the master of their school. and that's who you modeled yourself after. You know, it wasn't really, there was a right way to do things. And, you know, I think society still has a hard time coming to terms that it's come to a point where there is no right way or wrong way to do things. But because this was designed before modern, like super modern, contemporary, bananas on the wall, you know, expressionist, abstract work, this book came before that. So, you know, in respect to the people who created this book, they did have a right way or wrong way, or they did have a right way, and that right way was basically how close could you get your drawing to look like their drawing, and if you added your own spin to it, you probably did it wrong. But you know, the reason is supposedly, and this is what, you know, the books say, you know, supposedly it was because if you were going to have a career as an artist, you know, you pretty much had to be a commercial artist. You pretty much had to work or plan to work for like some organization, right? Because you needed funding. And, you know, in those days, if you didn't like work for somebody, you're pretty much not really going to do very well. There were much less entrepreneurial opportunities back then. So I'm going to try to decrease the angle of this. Like right there. Make that a stronger angle. Push that out a little bit further. And you know, commercial artists, if you're working for the church or for a family, if you're an artist for a family, if you're an artist for, you know, some of the books back then, you weren't really supposed to add your own spin, right? You couldn't draw dicks onto a religious painting the same way, you know, somebody at Disney might, right? You couldn't do that kind of stuff unless you wanted to like be beheaded. Maybe that's a little bit extreme, but you get the idea, right? Like, artists did not have self-expression. You know, this is the 1850s, so it's a little bit more advanced than getting beheaded by a king who didn't like your painting. But the idea is the same, that, you know, if you wanted a career, you pretty much had to do commercial art, and you couldn't really try to change it up too much from the master. Because if you did, you wouldn't have passed the school, and they wouldn't have recommended you for any projects, unless you were just like super talented or something. But that said, you know, we've advanced a lot. But is there a right way or wrong way to do Bargue? Yes, there's a right way or wrong way, depending on how you frame it, right? Like, the right way, you could say, is the way that it was originally designed. But you can also, you know, pull a whole artist criticism and criticize the old way and say, I'm not going to do it that way. It's up to you. But you know what? You have the freedom to do that as an artist, as a modern artist. So as an artist living in the year 2025, you have that opportunity to say, screw that, I'm going to do it my own way. So let's see. I'm having a hard time finding where I should end this line here. But we're going to go, let's go nice, confident, long line. Boom. Boom. Bring it down, bring it down. Boom. And there we go. All right. So if that just comes a little bit further, and we're going to go... This ends up being about the same length, right? One, and then just a little bit further, so... Okay. And right here, bring this angle down. And then we're going to go bring this across. And bring that across right here. And let's go, bam.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
This wrist looks really skinny, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. So let's go down and around here, and then right around. And there we have it. So let's keep this moving. So we've done the sketch with our nice little blue pencil here. Now let's do it with, let's go into our 2B or our, let's go with our HB actually. Let's do an HB pencil. Okay, so how do we do this? We're gonna go, actually we need a little bit more density on this. And this part needs to be erased a bit. So we're gonna go like right here. And here we go. Getting some of these shadows. These are some great looking shadows that we have here, because that's what the majority of this piece is just shadow. We don't even have to worry too much about the lighting and, you know, getting everything right, because there's so much shadow involved. So we're just going to go ahead and sketch our lines here. And let's go like here, bring this in. And then this wrist should come up a little bit. So let's go like this, bring this wrist out just a little. And there we go. Round this section out right here. Round the wrist. And we're going to find our space right here. Let's find this area right here. We're going to round this out like this. And then we're going to curve this in on this first line right here. And then this line's going to come down into here. And then like that. Let's just draw this down right here. Actually, this piece needs to come down too. And then we're going to go around, bring this around. Let's try to find some dimension here. And let's go like this. And where do we go from here? Easy. Right over here. Let's do this. Got a nice little triangle to start our knuckle. And here's the funny thing. So I'm trying to figure out how this should go. I think if we go up here, and then this is going to come around. And let's see how this comes up. So right around there. And let's find this knuckle right here. And here we go. So and bringing this down. So gotta somehow find the find our light in this area. Find these light areas here. Let's go around the pinky here. We could pretty much bring this out right here. Let's keep this moving. So sketching this out. This cat wants to bother us right now. Here, let's see a cat. Pookie, are you here to distract? Anyone else amazed at how cats like slink away? How they can like inch back like a worm somehow? Come here. Come here, little cat. If you don't want to hang out with me, why are you here? I don't want you here anyway either. If you don't want to hang out with me. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to bring this up. Nice line. That's all drawing is, a lot of lines. A lot of lines. Lots of lines and shadows.
Got into a huge fight as I was about to leave the bar and head here. You know how it goes. Something about Friday nights always brings out the weirdos. I'm gonna get more on short notice. I'll make sure the rest will come in soon, okay? And anyways, the big boss sent out on course to find you. In charge of this place head eyes.
This line might be a little bit thick. Gonna push it out just a little bit, but not too much. There, I think, yeah, like that should be good. Let's find our device here. This device is gonna come around like so. And then we're gonna find a piece like this. Kidder. All right, and let's go like this right into here.
So they've got tens of billions of won on a huge piggy bank in there. As long as we hit the incidents we got, and we're dealing with those stupid drugs in bars to make barely anything assholes. Boss, hold on. All the guys, you went into hiding because you messed with the big boss. At this point, only some knows. I thought I'd be able to convince anyone. Hey, okay, we're gonna do this so I can get the money I owe him. So, in the Philippines, how'd you lose so much money at the casino? Boss, you should have known not to go pushing your luck, you know? You little piece of shit.
Let's go like in here. Bam. Bam. And then there we have that. Okay. Let's see, we got a nice little line coming from right around here. Right around here. We're gonna go draw a little shadow box right here. Let's figure out this shape. We have one more section left to go. I want to get that's going to go into the shadow. We're going to find this one and this one. We're going to add some, here we go. It's getting super hyper detailed, but not overly specific because it's just shadow, right? We're getting super hyper detailed with the shadows, right? Or maybe not so much. Hard to say. Like, I feel like these shadows are just like pretty straightforward. Shadows are pretty straightforward. You know, we can do stuff. Before we move on to our next, the next pencil, before we get into this really dark shading, I just want to add a couple of lighter shades here. And let's go. Let's finally build up our darkest shadows here. So how we're going to do that, we're going to use a 6B pencil here. We're going to take our 6B right now. Let's grab our 6B. We're just going to go right, starting from here.
Stop trying to contact our family. It's tough for Bargue. Moving to the U.S. You just keep showing up. You asshole. Do you think money solves everything?
And here we go. Fill this in. Our nice soft 6B lead. We're starting to get some of the shadow to make sense. Let's actually add a little bit more width to this piece right here. There we go. That's good. I like that. All right. I'm happy. We should be happy with this. Let's be happy. Who's happy? Raise your hand. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands, people. Let's clap. Let's all be happy. Happiness is the key to life. If you can be happy in your life, you've already won. Of course, the answer is always much more complicated, but you know what? Some people have found a way to live their lives in total bliss and excitement, while others struggle and what is it that makes a difference? Getting philosophical here, but that is the question. What is it that makes the difference? Just adding some nice dark shadows into these areas right here. Let's actually form out and we're gonna have a shadow right down there. And let's go like this. This actually needs to come down. And darken this shadow a little bit. Give it a little bit more width. How do you pronounce the word width? W-I-T-D-T-H. Width? 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 Width?
Width.
What do you say, Kat?
Width.
Width?
Width.
You call it width?
Hard to pronounce it. Because it's a DTH. It's really hard.
Yeah. What a
Height and width.
How come they didn't just spell it W-I-T-H and just confuse us based on the spelling? Like every other word. 4 and 4. What is it for? How for? Where to for? Here to for. How many ways can you spell for? F-O-R-E? F-O-R? Alright, let's keep this moving along. And you know what? After this piece right here, we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna call it a night. Because tomorrow will be another day. Tomorrow will be another day to do wonderful, amazing things. Let's see.
If you're hungry, go ahead and...
What'd you say, Kat?
If you're hungry, go ahead and eat what I brought home.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not hungry.
I'm not too hungry right now. I will be once I'm done, though, probably, and I'm thinking about food. But I'm so in the zone right now that food is on my mind, but it's not like... You know, I didn't even really think about food until you mentioned it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were finished.
Now, don't get me wrong. I definitely will probably eat, but... just that it's not my priority now. My focus, I am focused. I am totally ingrained and engaged into this activity right now. This activity that has consumed my mind, consumed my thinking, consumed my reality here. And through this consumption, I have found myself. And if that sounds wacky, it might be because I just made it up on the spot here. Let's go right like this. You know, there's just so much darkness in here. Let's go cover this up right here. We're gonna go. How do I even begin? Get a nice pencil here. And here we go. And here we go. All it is, filling in the rest here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go right into here. You want, kitty? You see this cat rubbing her face on this pencil? Is that... What are you doing, Pookie? Huh? What are you doing? You won't let me... She won't let me hold her. But she sure will annoy the heck out of me right now. In a good way. Better to have a cat bother you than a cat not bother you. Cats are good luck, you know that? Does everybody know that cats are good luck? Pookie, what are you doing? You can't even stand on here. Her paws are too slick. Her paws are too slick for this. You don't want to be here because this is not for you. All right, and here we go. We're going to round this out. Psst. Hey, stop eating the tape. No, don't eat that. Do not eat the tape. Do not eat the tape. I shall not allow you to eat the tape here. We're going to use our eraser to get right up to the tip here. Erase that. Ah, that was a pretty good eraser. That was a pretty good erase. That was a good erase. And you know what? Let's go all out. Let's carve this to exactly how we want it, which is like that. And there we go. So very nice lines here. Let's get a nice dark line. Let's use our pen here. We're going to create a nice dark outline. Just give it a little outline thing. What are you eating? Pookie, what are you eating, young one? Little one? How come? Does anyone ever have like one cat that always pukes and then another cat that does not puke? What's up with that, eh? Alright, I don't want to add too much of the pen outline because it'll probably pull away. That's not the goal here. So let's take a look at where we're at. And there we go. Actually, you know what? I will use the pen a little bit more. The Copic marker. I got this Copic right here. Goes up into here. And we're going to go bring this pen
scared. I thought you were gone for good.
Here we go. I feel like this black pen, the Copic marker, added just a little bit of extra detail, and we could be happy with this. We can live happily with this drawing right here, except right here. Let's go round this out, make this look more like a more natural hand thing. Right. Go deep into there. Go deep into there. Bring that around, actually. And all right, we're good to go. So that is our stream for the night, people. Knocked out these two hands. And for those of you tuning in for these, now we're into the future. Great to be connected in some way, even by the simple fact that you watch this for even a second. And hope you all have a wonderful day tomorrow or a wonderful morning. Hope you're all starting off fantastic or ending it on a high note. How you end the night ultimately affects how you start the night or start the morning. Imagine if every morning, you realize that what happens the night before affects how you are in the mornings. It could change your life. It could change your mornings. It could affect you in so many positive ways. But with that, we're going to be done with this. And, yeah. So, thanks again, everybody. And have a good one. Take care.